Right. So the question was, he wasn't sure if I was saying that aerobics was a good thing or a bad thing. And what else did you say?
Well,
or how much?
To what extent, if it's good for the mitochondria, how much is good and how much is overdoing it, that sort of thing.
Right. Well, aerobics in and of themselves is a very, very low-level stimulus to the muscles. It will give you some increased mitochondria, but at what cost? So I think we all know that jogging, and forget for a second that you enjoy it. Some people enjoy smoking. Some people enjoy high-carb diets. All right, so it's not a matter of enjoyment per se, is what is your goal? What is it that you want? And most people just don't know what they want from an exercise program, as long as you're human, is you want increased muscle tissue. How you go about doing that can either be inefficient and more dangerous than it needs to be via aerobics, plyometrics, CrossFit, or some other type of exercise. Or you can do it safely by using exercise. Gosh, it's a lot of talking. By using exercise equipment in a very slow and controlled fashion. So, I don't know if I can answer you at this point, but we'll try.
I've read your book, I've worked out with you, been doing it for a year, love it. But I haven't heard you explain exactly how slow is slow, because some people slow maybe too fast.
Right.
And to the point of where your muscles will not go any further.
Well, here's how I describe it to clients. You pick a resistance on a machine or with free weights, whatever the device is you're using. Oh, thanks. You start the exercise as slowly as you can possibly start it. So the rule of thumb we say is take about a second or two to move the weights the first inch. So this way you're not suddenly overcoming inertia. The very first repetition of any exercise is the most dangerous, because that's where you have the most amount of strength to hurt yourself. The safest repetition in any set of an exercise is the last one, where you have no more strength left. You can't move fast enough to cause injury. And then once you start it slow, then you just want to move that slowly until you complete the lift, reverse just as slowly, and lower down at that same speed. Without resting, you reverse again, and you continue until you reach a deep, complete level of muscle fatigue. What that does is it stimulates all of the available muscle fibers to become stronger. And once you've performed a set of an exercise like that, you're done. You move on to the next exercise. You might do 5, 6, 8 exercises in a session, and you're done. Go home and eat a lot of fat. And protein, fatty protein, fatty protein. I apologize. Yes?
I've seen a lot of number of recommendations say on the internet about using high-intensity interval training,
Yeah.
using weight and for endurance.
Yeah, so the question was about what they call HIIT exercise, which is called high-intensity interval training, which is taking aerobic exercise and making it really intense. So, for example, you might get on a treadmill, jog at about 5 miles an hour for 30, 40 seconds, and then put it up as high as you possibly can put it and run on the treadmill for the next 3, 4 minutes until you feel like you're going to collapse, and then you cool down again from there. But what that is doing is making the work of your muscles more intense. Well, it's like an evolution. You go from a monkey to like a Cro-Magnon to a Homo sapien. So HIIT training to me is like you go from aerobics to HIIT training to then high-intensity resistance training. There's nothing that HIIT training can't give you that high-intensity strength training can, and high-intensity strength training can give you everything that any form of aerobics can. So if you're doing both, you're just wasting your time.
Slow resistance training will help your endurance and
Right. Slow resistance training, meaning safe and controlled weightlifting, will improve endurance by increasing your, and voila, without all the pounding and the grinding of your joints, which is one thing when you're a kid, but as you get to be our age, It takes its toll. Yes.
Is it better to do lighter weight and get up to, say, 5 or 6 reps, or to do a heavier weight that you can only do, say, 3 or 4 repetitions?
The science on the subject shows that it doesn't make much difference. So long as you get the muscles to complete fatigue within what's called the anaerobic range. So we'll have clients that they just want to get the exercise routine over with. They're willing to do 3 repetitions to failure. Other clients, if you give them that kind of a weight to begin, they're flying all over the place, they run out of the gym. So they got to start out a little bit lighter and then build up into the intensity. But it is a good question. It is a good question. I don't think there really isn't any real good science to show that one is actually better than the other. Seems to be that within a certain range, it's about the same.
What's the question?
Oh, what was the question? Whether or not it's better to use lighter weights for a longer time or heavier weights for a shorter time. And the whole idea, by the way, behind light weights gives you cut and tone, and heavy weights give you bulk and strength. That's completely, absolutely untrue.
Fred, can you
Yes.
explain a little bit more about what are mitochondria and why having more of them are beneficial?
Well, on the slide I showed that the mitochondria are like the energy-producing powerhouses, cellular powerhouses within the muscle. So if I took my magic mitochondria wand and tapped you and took all your mitochondria away, you couldn't move. You'd collapse. You'd have no ability to produce energy. So by proliferating them, you allow yourself more energy. You can produce more energy. I mean, within the muscles themselves, that allows you to be more enduring, stronger, and things of that nature. So they're utilizing ATP and oxygen more and producing it more readily. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I was curious, have you always done the slow burn? Is that how you started your fitness? Or did you start the traditional way with weights?
I started the traditional way. I did a lot of, one of the reasons, I don't know if you knew last year, were you here last year? I had terrible knee pain, and last year I had to get a knee operation for a partial knee replacement because of all the years of jogging that I did, martial arts that I did. I completely, at 50, I now have the knees of like an 85-year-old because of all of the physical activities that I did. And I used to do powerlifting, I dabbled in Olympic lifting, and all of those types of things are extremely stressful on the joints. There are some folks who can do it and they kind of get away with it. Some people smoke to their 90 and they don't even get emphysema. But still, it's wear and tear.
Did you see a big difference in the two?
Well, I mean now, I'm 50 years old. I don't have, other than my knee, I don't have a joint ache or pain, and I find that I'm in better shape now than when I was doing all of that other stuff. Right.